Hey, good morning, guys. Eddie Case here on another basement. Hey, I brought the camera down here today to show you a rather intense basement, if you will. This basement's got a lot of features, a lot of good framing to look at to give you ideas for your basement. I'm just going to go around with the camera, show you the different zones, show you how we framed it, why we framed it that way, and basically what it's all going to turn into when it's put together and finished 100%. At which time I will bring the camera back down and we will go back over this 100% finish. So this will be kind of a before and after video. So I'll show you some 3D images from my computer that I have down here on my pad here today. And that'll give you an idea what it's going to look like when it's finished. So let's spin the camera around and take a look at what we got down here. Okay, guys, I got my pad out here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I hope it comes through okay, but I just wanted to show you the layout of this basement. But as you can see here, over here, we've got a home theater with a bar in the back. You'll enter through these double doors over here. You can see we've got a raised platform right here and a couple seats, a closet over here, and everything over on this side is all storage. So we got a theater. Come out of the theater, there's another door here that just comes into like a long storage area, where the guy's got some hobby stuff going on in here. He's into radio controlled cars and he's going to have all of his stuff in here. So we come back out here, we got an activity area here where we're going to have a high top table going on right here, out the back door into the backyard right here. This is an exposed basement, so we're totally exposed in the back. I'm going to spin the camera around here. That's that area right over there where you can see that double door going out back. They're going to have a pool out back. Got these nice big windows. You can see they're only about a foot off the ground here. Got a triple set there and a double set over here. So a really nice light basement, daylight basement, full walkout basement. All right, so that was that area right over there. There was that triple window right there and the double window right over here in this little odd shaped area, the foundation here, where we're going to have probably another high top table. And then we've got a nice big kitchenette with an island out here. You see you can walk in and around this island on both sides. I'm calling it the bar. But that's what my pad is actually sitting on right now. You can see there's the island right there. It's going to be a 42-inch upper top on the island, and then on the other side it'll drop down to 36-inch cabinets, and then all along that back wall we'll have a refrigerator, and then we'll have some upper cabinets and a dishwasher and an ice maker and the big sink, garbage disposal, full kitchen. And then if we come through these double doors right here beside the bar kitchenette area, we'll enter into a really large exercise room. We did a little bit of surgery inside this gym. There was actually a support post in the middle. We took it out and we added 2 more support posts so that we could open that up. We don't do that a whole lot because there's a lot of engineering that goes involved with that. You've got to pour footers and you got to have some welding equipment and some different things to do something like that. But so we took the pole out. I'll show you that when we get over there. And then we've got a full bathroom right over here. You can see we've got a 36-inch vanity, a toilet, and a 5-foot shower right outside the bar area there. So we've got the full bath, the kitchenette / bar area, the little sitting nook area over here. There's a fireplace right there. So that's pretty much it. The bar, the full bathroom, the exercise room, sitting area. We've got an activity area, and of course the home theater, which is just going to be totally awesome. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll just take the camera, we'll walk around, and we'll look at each of these areas, and I'll talk about the framing. You can start at the bottom of the stairs here. We do have a set of steps that come down in turn with a landing. Come down to the bottom here. We've opened up the original wall up about 6 steps here. This will have this wall will be capped, and we'll have a regular handrail system coming down with spindles and a newel post and all that at the base of the steps here. And if you guys watch any of my other videos, we do that on just about every job. We'll cut out the full wall if the builder has put one in, and we'll open that space up. So that's what we're doing at the base of the stairs. Over here at the base of the steps, we did have one column. This is the only column that we really boxed out. The homeowners did not want us to build any half walls to it or anything. They just wanted us to drywall that, and then we'll add some crown molding and probably some base trim to that, and we'll just dress that up with a little bit of detail. Make it not so plain Jane, but we do have a column there that we worked around. And down that end of the room there, beside this triple window, we have the fireplace. It's actually sitting on this dolly here. It's going to be installed next week. So this is our fireplace. And this particular unit is actually one that can be vented and out the top. And there's duct work to this, and you can actually run duct work for this and heat your basement a lot more because of the duct work that can be hooked up to this stuff. And all the duct work is in these boxes, and we're going to have that all installed. We're actually going to be running it in this hard pipe up into the ceiling and out into the middle of this room that'll be right on the other side of the kitchen there. And there's a blower on the unit, and it'll actually be like force hot air coming out of this gas fireplace into ductwork, which, you know, we really don't put many of those in. This might only be the second one we've ever done with the fan and the ductwork that's included with the unit. Normally there's no ductwork. So we got the fireplace there. We got our little area over here where we're going to have our little sitting area with our high top table and the kitchen. So you guys that are planning on doing a bar or a kitchenette area, I'll just explain to you, you know, we use a 2x8 wall built so that the granite will finish off at 42 inches on top of that wall. So that wall is about 41 inches tall. All right, and you can see it's got electric in it for future outlets that will be in the uprise there between the lower cabinetry, which will be down here, and then it'll step up to the 42-inch height, and there'll be a couple outlets in the uprise granite. Now, since it's an island and we're in a basement, we had to get electric over to this. So you see down there, we do have a piece of conduit coming up out of the floor with a piece of 12-2 wire in it. And you can see we trenched the floor with a chipping hammer over to this wall back here so that we could run our PVC line under the floor and get our electric out into our island. So sometimes you have to do that when you have a freestanding island. There's no other way to really get the electric out there other than under the floor. Unless you have a column or something on the end going up, you can run it down the column and into the bar. But if you don't have any columns, you're going to have to chip the floor. And this is a complete kitchen. We've got it set up for a full sink down this end here. We've got an ice machine coming in. So you can see we've got an ice maker box down there for our ice maker coming in a 1/2-inch PVC. You can buy these little ice maker boxes over at Home Depot. They just kind of neaten it up. You don't have to install these, but after everything's drywalled, it's just so nice to see just a little white recessed area in the drywall with the little shut off, and it just cleans it up. So we had one there, and we also had another ice box down here for a full-size refrigerator that will be up this end. We're also wired coming out of the wall in a couple spots up there for lights that will be cut into our upper cabinetry, little 3-inch lights that will be in our glass door cabinetry up top. So it's pre-wired for lights in the cabinets. And you can also see some structured wiring up here where we've set up for our TV location. We got our 110 coming in here, and we've got some of our speaker wiring, and we've got our coax cable all up in there in a nice little network box up there, which will look real nice after the drywall's done. It neatens it up. All right, so that's our bar and our little sitting area with the fireplace and our little table area down there in front of the double window. All right, so through these double doors right here, and you can take a look at some of the framing in here where we had to go around lower steel. A real big piece of steel in here. The steel in here was 12 inches tall, so we had some pretty big soffits down here. But we also have almost 9.5-foot ceilings down here. So we could do all that kind of stuff and still maintain super great height. So I was telling you, we took a column out. You can see right down there where we cut it off with a torch. That used to be the original location for the support beam, or the support column rather, that went up. You can see right up there where it used to be bolted to the steel. We took that column completely out. We added another column back in the storage here. You can see right there. So we had to put two back in to take one out. So there's one in the storage room, which we're not going to go back there and look at that, but it's back there. And then we have another one over here that we had to install to even the load span, to keep it code. And we had to put that in there, weld it to the bottom of the steel. We also had to jack the floor open, where you can see the discoloration there between the two different floors. We jacked the floor open, we dug down, and we poured footers underneath this concrete floor down a couple feet, and filled that up with concrete so that we could have a stable base for our new column. We couldn't just sit the column on the concrete floor. Obviously, the concrete floor is only 4 inches thick. So we actually had to pour a true footer to code before we could set these new columns. So that's why it's a little bit more than a homeowner's job. I mean, if you're a homeowner looking to remove a pole, I suggest you have a company come in and engineer it and have some professionals do that. That's something you definitely don't want to mess with unless you really know what you're doing. Because as soon as you cut out a support pole like that, you know, you're in a whole lot of trouble if you haven't corrected you know, the new span with the new poles, new support poles in the right position to carry the load, or a bigger beam. In this case, we didn't go with a bigger beam. We kept the same size beam. We just added more support columns. So this whole area is exercise area. One big exercise room. Up this end of the room, we've got some 7-foot tall bookcases that are going to be built out of birch that are going to be recessed into the wall there, and then in between those two bookcases, she's going to have some of her exercise equipment, jump ropes and shoes and shelves, floating shelves and things that she's going to be using in this space in between the two bookcases. And then a closet that goes actually underneath the stairs. You know, so this is a closet that comes in, turns underneath the lower set of steps that go down, and we framed it down to a little knee wall down there, and then back in there you can't get into that space back there, it's just too tight. So we dropped a knee wall down there about 3 feet from the end of the steps, and we finished this up underneath the stairs here, and we've got a recessed light up in there for, you know, a switch coming in the door here. So a nice closet in there. Back through that door there, that's just more unfinished storage where there's some mechanical stuff in there, water heaters and water treatment equipment and things like that. Here's our leaving the gym here. We're going to enter a bathroom. I showed you in the plan. We got a 5-foot shower. And this is a 4-piece remodeler shower from Kohler, rather. It's a Kohler Sterling unit, and you can see those in a lot of our other videos. It's the one we use most of the time when we're doing a shower in the basement. And we've got our toilet location here, where we had to jack the floor. You can see where we filled back in with floor leveler. We jacked the floor and put in our toilet flange. And we're set up over here for hot and cold water and drain line for our 36-inch vanity. And right here, coming in the bathroom, we've got a little linen closet. So we'll have a nice little linen closet in here as well. And this bathroom, incidentally, it's pretty good size because of the width of that linen closet. It's almost 11 feet this way, and it's about 6 feet wide this way. So 11 width, and or I guess you wouldn't say length, 11-foot length, and the width is roughly 6 foot. Okay, so heading back towards the theater now. And before we get to the theater door here, this will be a door going back into more storage. This is where he's going to have his hobby area back in here. We have some furnaces back in there, and it's all unfinished storage in there. And right here, we'll be going through a 5-foot door. It'll be a 5-foot double door, and we'll be entering into the theater. Now, this theater will have area in the back here where people can gather. There'll actually be a higher top right over here, like a bar top back here, with a like I think a 20-inch top with bar stools back here, so we can have some people sitting back here, having some beverages, some snacks back here, sitting behind the theater. We get about 4 people back here. All right, so we got a riser platform here. And just so people don't trip coming in here in the dark, we've got some little lights that'll actually be in the carpet that's going to come down and wrap around here. Those lights will be, inside the carpeted edge of that riser box. So we've got an 11-foot wide riser platform. So that'll be some higher seating in the back of the theater. The box itself was all built out of treated 2x8. So we got a 2x8 box there, 16 inches on center, just like a deck you'd build out back your house. Same structure. 16-inch on center, all treated. And then on top of that, we've got some tongue and groove 3/4-inch plywood that's glued and screwed down. So we have a real solid base there for our riser platform. And then the back of that is going to be the bar seating top area that we talked about when we walked in. But that'll make a nice couch backer for his four-person movie seat sectional that he's getting up there on the riser platform. All right, and in the front of the theater, we're going to have a 133-inch movie screen. Below there, we've got our center channel that'll be built in. Back in that corner there, we're going to have an equipment rack that'll roll back into the wall. That'll have all of his equipment in it, his amplifiers and everything he's going to be using to run the theater. And right here, we've got built-in subwoofers. Down both sides of the theater, we've got 1, 2, 3 sconce lights on each side. That'll be wired, that'll come on a separate switch to give you that more of that theater look. Just about every theater you go in is going to have some type of sconce lighting going down each side. It just makes it look and feel more like a theater inside. Overhead, there was a lot of framing that went on in here. We did create a tray ceiling up in the middle of the theater. You can see the lower rim going around here. We're going to have crown mold up in this higher ceiling that will be lit. It'll be lighted crown molding up in there. And then you got the house lights up in there too, the recessed cans. So you'll have those, and then you'll have the lighting inside the crown molding here. And you can see, we don't do a whole lot of this, but because the steel was so low, and we wanted to keep everything else as high as we could, we actually have a 2-tier soffit in here. The lower tier is about 5 inches lower than the upper tier. You can see the difference right there. The lower tier runs actually right over top of the riser platform and then goes back up on the other side. So we got a lower section right here in the middle. Here's your higher section, which is about 16 inches wide. And then we've got like a 35-inch wide section that's about 5 inches lower. Then we jump back up on the other side here to the same drop here. We go 5 inches lower to cover the steel. Then we're back up higher again. We kept it as high as we could in this area because we're already up off the ground 8 inches here with our riser platform. So we wanted to maximize height, so we did a 2-tier soffit. Man, I believe I have another video on the channel that shows you how to do that, if you want to check that out. It's a little trickier, but if you're using your laser level, it's really easy to get your reference points and to build these nice and level and flat and strong and beautiful. But yeah, 2-tier soffits in this one, and then over here we jump back up. This is where we came in behind the bar wall here. Again, we've got another tray ceiling in here. We've got our higher rim going around, and then we'll have our crown mold up inside the upper ceiling, and we'll have lighted crown molding in this area as well. Up this end of the theater, we're going through another 5-foot arch, another 5-foot door rather, into that big storage area. So that'll be storage over there, and over here in the back of this theater, we've got a what'll be a utility closet over here. It'll be I believe a 36-inch door right there, going in just an unfinished storage area in there. Okay, so that's our theater, which is just going to be so nice when it's done, guys. I can't wait to show you the after video of this basement. So this theater is roughly, oh man, I'm trying to remember now, 11 and 4, 15. It's almost 14 feet wide. It's 14 feet wide. I believe from this bar wall to the front of the theater is roughly 20 feet. So 20 by 14. And then back here we've got another almost 7 feet of width back here. where we'll have our bar stools and whatnot back here. So it's a really big area. And in the higher ceilings here, we're almost 9.5 feet. We still have over 8 feet underneath of our soffits, walking in past the riser platform. Even our lowest, our very lowest soffit, where we had to drop below the steel, I still think we're right at 8 feet. So really nice height in here. And you can see everything in this basement is insulated right now to code. This is all R13 paper-faced insulation. And you can see we did the wall that borders the unfinished storage area from the theater, because that's considered a cold wall, because the room on the other side of that wall will not be heated, so that's a cold wall. So we had to insulate that, but we also insulated the interior walls of the theater just for some soundproofing. The ceiling is stuffed solid with insulation as well. So although this isn't going to be what you would say a soundproofed room type of theater, it's still gonna, all this insulation is still gonna deaden the sound a lot. So everything in this theater is insulated, all the walls and the ceiling, and as is the rest of the basement. So we've also insulated some of these interior walls here, because they border his little radio controlled craft room, which is going to be not heated in there, so that's considered a cold space in there. So all these walls bordering that cold space had to be insulated. And there you can see we have a high and low return that'll go in that wall right there for return air. So we're 100% ready for drywall down here right now. We were just coming down here today to make sure that all the structured wiring was in, that we didn't miss any outlets or switches or anything. You know, we're just double checking our work, because once the drywall goes in, folks, there's no going back without tearing things out. This one here, believe it or not, I think it's, what was this, John, about 2,100 square feet finished?
Yeah.
About 2,100 square feet, and they still have an additional like 1,000 square foot of storage in the different areas that aren't finished. So this foundation, this basement was well over 3,000 square feet. So it's a good sized basement. It took our core guys, our framing crew, about a good week to frame this one, where we normally have them done in 2.5 days. This one was double the framing. You can see all the soffit work down here. Here's some more examples of the two-tier soffits. We had a lower soffit edge here because we had the steel, the 12-inch steel up in there, the red steel. Came down so darn far. We didn't want to lower the whole ceiling that far, because we had windows that were really tall over here, and if we would have came in at the lower height, the soffit would have went right in and would have covered part of our window. So we had to do the two-tier soffit again. If I jump underneath here and we look up there, you can see we've got the lower soffit, and then we drop down over here about 7 inches. We really maximized it in here. We can get about 7 inches less, 7 inches more to cover the steel. Then we went back up 7 inches in this area. And then what that did is it got our framing high enough over top of the windows now that once we drywall this, we'll have room for a 3.5-inch piece of casing that will won't hit the ceiling. We'll have full trim over top of our window. And we never would have had, well, we wouldn't have gotten any trim over top of the window if we would have brought this level of soffit the whole way across. So that's the reason for our madness there. Plus it just looks better, you know, much higher ceiling in here. And that runs the whole way down to that wall where we had the return air down there by the steps. The two-tier soffit goes the whole way down. That's about 30 feet of soffit here that we had to do two-tier. And then again over here, I'm just explaining some of the framing here to you. We dropped this whole area inside the odd-shaped walls here down about 8 inches because we had all this ductwork up in here, this big ductwork, and because it came out so far from the wall, we just decided to lower the whole ceiling in this whole little octagon here down. You know, it just looks cozy. Cozy, how's cozy? And again, we came in with our soffit high enough so that when we finish out the trim around that window, we'll have room for our casing, our 3-inch casing above the window. because we kept our soffit up high enough that we didn't screw up the look of the trim. All right, so that was our madness there. Up in this ceiling above me, every 2 foot up there, we've got what's called banding framing. I'll spin the camera around here. Okay, that's banding framing, and the reason that we did that, you know, we're going perpendicular from the floor joist every 2 foot with the banding framing. The reason we did that is we had a gas line up there that was strapped to the bottom of the floor joist that came down 1.25 inches, and we had to get below that. So because of that one pipe, because of that one gas line, we lowered the framing from the floor joist 1.5 inches using our 2 foot center banding framing. All right, and that got us below that pipe. And we only lost 1.5 inches with that framing, so it's not much. But that's why we banded that down. And then over top of our bar here, we had another one of those big pieces of steel, 12-inch tall steel, and we boxed that out in a soffit. And we built a soffit on ladder on both sides, and then we just connected this soffit to this soffit every 2 foot with our crossover blocks, and that took care of that piece of steel. And then over here, we had nothing in the road, so we're right up to the bottom of the floor joist in here for the last bit of this kitchen bar area, and we'll be able to hang our drywall right to the bottom of the floor joist over here. There's no banding framing on this side of the beam like there was over there. All right, I know this is probably a long video, probably turning into a long video, but you know, everybody might have something in this video in their basement, and this might be answering some questions that you had about your framing. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? Now you know how we're doing it, and it might give you some ideas for your own framing. Now this wall over here with the windows and the door was put in by the builder, and you can see it's already framed. All right, they already framed it. You can see the big wood headers over the doors, and that was all done by the builder. So all that framing on the exposed walkout side of the basement is all done as they built the house. They framed this back wall. It's not concrete. See, it's just 2x6 framing. It was done as they built the house. So from here all the way down around over to here and around over to that window, all the way over to here was already framed, right to here. And you can see here it started back up. They have a couple courses of block over here, and by the time you get right here, you're concrete again. So that saved us a little bit of time because we didn't have to frame those couple walls. Okay, so we're all roughed in for our bathroom, our kitchenette / bar with all of our plumbing, all of our drain lines, all of our water lines. All of our HVAC is now installed. We've got all of our feeds in the ceiling, and we've talked about this in other videos, but we use what's called the Speedy Boots. All right, those are Speedy Boots. We get those offline. Home Depot sells them, but you can't get them in the store. Normally, you have to order them off HomeDepot.com. You can have them shipped to your house, but we order Speedy Boots, which go right in between the floor joists, just like a recessed light. They got the sliding arms, the arms that go between when you just tack the nails in, and then you can slide your can left and right. Well, you can do the exact same thing with the Speedy Boot for your HVAC. So we've got all those in here. I don't know, we've got at least 8 or 9 feeds down here in the ceiling, plus the return air. So all the HVAC work is done, roughed in, ready for drywall. Back in the theater, all the structure wiring is in for the overhead projector, all the speaker wires going back to the equipment rack area are all on the wall. Obviously, all of our electrics roughed in, and you know, we have some temporary switches on just to light things up so that we can work down here. So all of our electric is roughed in as well. Everything's insulated. So we are, like I said, after today, 100% ready for drywall, which is coming in, I think it's being stocked tomorrow. And then on Monday or Tuesday, our fireplace crew is going to be down here. They're going to install this fireplace and get all that ductwork done. That's really the last major project before drywall, and then we'll be ready to start hanging rock down here. So this one had some stuff to it, guys. This one had some stuff to it. It had a little bit of everything. It's got built-in bookcases. It's got two-tier soffits, regular soffits, banding, bathrooms, bars, home theaters, gas fireplaces, a plethora of different kind of lighting down here. We got low voltage lighting. We've got crown mold lighting. We've got recessed lights and cabinet lighting. We've got regular 6-inch can lighting, sconces in the theater. Okay, so, I hope this video helped you guys out. I know I didn't get into how we frame this. I have other videos on where I show you exactly how we frame walls, exactly how we frame soffits, exactly how we band and all that stuff. That's not what this video is about. This video is just to give you some ideas for your basement, all the different things you can do and the different ways that you can do them. And if you're in the planning stages right now of your job, and you're getting ready to maybe just get your plan down on paper using a program like I use to design it, and you're in the designing stage, this should have given you some ideas for your design. But if you're past that and you're into the okay, I'm ready to start framing stage, you already got your design done, hopefully this video gave you some good information, some good ideas on how you can tackle some of the obstacles that are in the way. And really, in basements, obstacles are everywhere, and it's really what separates basement finishing from any other type of remodeling project, like a kitchen remodel or a bathroom remodel or even an addition. There's just not as many obstacles in the way on those types of projects. In the basement, it's just littered with obstacles, and the way that you have to frame around those obstacles is key on whether or not your project's going to look professional at the end when it's all finished, or if it's going to look like, for lack of better words, Harry Homeowner did it, and everybody knows that you really didn't know what you were doing. Even though it may look okay, it's still going to not look professional. So I'm trying to show homeowners how to tackle a basement project by themselves, do the work themselves, and end up with a product that looks professional, clean, crisp, and beautiful. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this theater here now. All right, so anyways, we got the screen up there. All the electronics are in. You can see the center channel speaker and the left and right front channel speakers are in the wall. There's our control center, command central right there with all the equipment to run the theater. And that is tail ending into a storage room on the other side of that wall. Got all the sconces on and the sound panels. You can see the back row of theater seats up on the riser platform. See down there, we step up on the riser platform. And here they've got a sofa that's like double depth. So that's not traditional theater seating, but it does come from a company that specializes in theater seating, and this is just something that's I guess kind of newer. I didn't used to see these types of furniture pieces for theaters, but there's a lot of this now. You can see the subwoofer right down there built into the wall. You can see we've got the tray ceiling in the front of the theater here. The crown molding that's up in there can be illuminated. And you can see down here on the side of the riser platform that we do have 3 lights going down there. I don't have them on right now, but you can turn those lights on there so that you don't, it's kind of like a trip hazard in the dark in here, so you can illuminate the side of the riser platform. In the back we have a quartz top. It's built on one of our 2x8 walls. And we've got some raised panels on the front of that. A couple outlets there. And they're going to have some stools back here, so you can have another gathering in the back of the theater here, and you can also have people sitting back here. And the double doors coming in. In the back of the theater here we have another tray ceiling, again with that rope lighting that's up inside there that you can control with your phone or a computer. Change the colors. And then out the back side of the theater you're back in storage, which is still a huge amount of storage space back here yet. This house is just gigantic. So I think it's like over 4,000 square feet on the first floor. So they've got the luxury of finishing 2,000 square feet and still having at least another 1,000 square feet down here, if not more, of extra storage space. All right, then back out of the theater. We've got it covered up right now, but we have a shuffleboard table here. And we got this big area right inside the back doors here. They can put some other furniture and whatever. This is just like an activity area right here. And here's our open stairway. You can see an accent paint wall there. Synthetic plank flooring throughout. Here's one of the columns that we just wrapped. And I'll show you the detail on this. We got 5.5 inch base trim on the bottom, going around the bottom. On the face of each of the 4 sides, we've got OG trim that we bought, and we made raised panels on them. So one large raised panel on each side, and then crown mold around the top. Up this end here, we've got the gas fireplace and a cultured stone wall. Got a little sitting nook over here with a chandelier. Over here we have the kitchen, like a kitchenette. We've got the island in the front with those raised panels on it with the quartz top. And back in behind the island, we've got full-size refrigerator. Got an ice maker right here, which is kind of nice. So we got that hiding in there. And we just got a bunch of other small, different size base cabinets. And then we got some nice upper cabinets that will have glass in them. The glass is still on back order, so they're going to be coming out and installing the glass here in a couple days. And the TV above the sink. In the island, we do have a microwave / convection oven. I'm pretty sure this is a trash can here. It is, double trash can. And the 2-tier quartz tops. We got the lower top right here, which is at 36 inches, then the upper tier top that's at 42 inches finished. And guys, if you're interested in putting together a kitchen or a nice bar like this, I do have a video series over at the Basement Finishing University. It's my bar building series. It will show you how to build these islands, 2-tier islands, and install all of the cabinetry and design your bar or your kitchenette. You can check that out. I do have a link to the Basement Finishing University in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. This end here, we've got a double set of doors, French doors going into the exercise room. And this is a big room. It's about, I don't know, 16 by 24 in here. They're going to have some nice equipment in here. It's a real nice universal gym right here. See some ceiling fans. We do have a lower section of ceiling in here. We had a steel beam in here. We had to box out. And we've got 2 built-in bookcases that are 6 feet tall with glass shelves with lighting inside of them. Okay, thank you. So that's all illuminated there to put their pictures and whatnot on. And in between there, we're going to have some floating shelves, which we haven't installed yet, but they're going to go between the bookcases. Really pretty. That really turned out nice. We're really happy with that. And then this door right here, it's a locking closet. This actually goes in underneath the stairs. So we did finish the space underneath the steps. It'll lighten the underneath the landing in the stairway there. And this goes back in and turns and goes back as far as we could run it back in there. A really nice home gym. Some really nice equipment. And back out of here, you've got a 3/4 bath. Then we ran the synthetic plank flooring right on in here. Got a nice 5-foot remodeler shower down there with the opaque glass doors, privacy glass, standard toilet, 36-inch vanity, which I believe matches the cabinetry in the bar and the home theater, and a mirror and vanity light, central air conditioning and heating vent grate, light fan combo, and a 6-inch can in the shower on the ceiling. And we managed to squeak a nice little linen closet in here as well. 4 shelves, closet made shelving. All oil bronze doorknobs and hinge accents. So this one pretty much had everything that you'd want in a finished basement. I mean, with a full kitchen, gas fireplace, all kinds of seating area and areas to spread out. So much wide open space. You could do anything, any type of game area, billiard tables, air hockey tables, game room, anything you wanted to set up in this space, you could, because there's just so much square footage here. You can see there's the crown mold in every area pretty much. Just about everything's crowned out where we could. The stairway turned out really nice. A little bit fancier than our normal stuff, a little bit nicer in the little post. Everything's upgraded just a little bit on this job. Instead of wooden spindles, we've got the iron spindles. Upgrading on the carpeting, going up the steps. Like I said, it's a total walkout exposed basement. While we were here working, the homeowners had another company come in and put a really nice patio out here. This was all just dirt out here. But all nice pavers, retaining wall. And that about does it. We got a couple hours left here today, and like I said, we have a few minor things like the glass in the cabinets over there, a little bit of extra cleaning and stuff we're going to do as we work our way out the door here, but this one's 99% finished. And this one took us, guys, I mean, even a company like ours with, you know, we're in COVID era right now, and supply chains are tight, and materials that we needed to get this job at different times were next to almost impossible to get. This job lasted almost 16 weeks. Now granted, probably 95% of it was done within 8 weeks, but it took another 2 months to get all the extra stuff that we needed to finish to get this job done. It took almost another 2 months to get a lot of the supplies. And you can see all the different elevations to the ceilings because of ductwork and steel beams and whatnot. Kind of created a tray ceiling in this room. That's what we had to do to frame to go around all these different beams and things. Creates natural situations where you're looking at areas that almost trade themselves out. So guys, that's it. I'm Eddie Case. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something good out of it. If you like this video, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it definitely helps out our channel. And don't forget to tick that little notification bell. That way, every time I put out a new video, you'll get a notice saying that I've got new content ready. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.